Hey guys, and welcome back to Vize Finance. Have you ever wondered what inflation really is? We often hear that prices go up, but there's actually a lot more to it. Inflation has been a hot topic in current events, so it's only right that we dive right into it. By definition, inflation is a rise in prices, which can be translated as the decline of purchasing power over time. The rate at which purchasing power drops can be reflected in the average price increase of a basket of selected goods and services over some period of time. One of the most straightforward examples of inflation in action can be seen in the price of milk. In 1913, a gallon of milk cost about 36 cents per gallon. 100 years later, in 2013, a gallon of milk cost $3.53, nearly 10 times higher. The grocery store is a great indicator that we're hitting another rise in inflation when we see that prices are rising. You may notice that your shopping cart has less in it, but you're spending the same amount, if not more. Human needs extend beyond just one or two products. Commodities like food grains, metal, fuel, utilities like electricity and transportation, and services like healthcare, entertainment, and labor are needed to live comfortably. The loss of purchasing power impacts the cost of living, which ultimately leads to a deceleration in economic growth. This is because one unit of money buys fewer goods and services, and people are not making enough to compensate for the rise in prices. This puts a lot of stress on people and the economy, and is where the acts of disinflation come in. Now, what are the elements that cause inflation in the first place? An increase in supply of money is the root cause of inflation, such as printing and giving more money to citizens or loaning new money into existence as reserve account credits through the banking system by purchasing government bonds from banks on the secondary market. Now, you would think this all is very terrible and that it is only a burden to society, but there are actually surprisingly some advantages to higher inflation. One specifically is that individuals with tangible assets like property may like to see some inflation, as that raises the price of their assets, which they can sell at a higher rate. Another advantage is the increase in spending, which can boost economic activities in a country. If the purchasing power of money falls over time, then there may be a greater incentive to spend now instead of saving and spending later. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics measures the inflation rate using the Consumer Price Index, in other words, CPI. The CPI measures the total cost of goods and services consumers have purchased over a certain period of time, using a representative basket of goods based on household surveys. CPI can have a huge influence on many financial markets. Inflation is a pretty touchy thing to deal with, especially for average consumers, and the government can only do so much, so what is the best way to combat inflation on your own terms? The best way to combat inflation is by investing in assets that accumulate value over time. Although there aren't any guarantees with the right investment strategy, the stock market can be a great tool. This is because share prices appreciate at a rate that typically exceeds inflation over time, especially when investing in index funds. Other options are assets like gold, commodities, fine arts, or collectibles, assets that maintain and increase in value. Then there's real estate. Returns on investments in real estate have kept up with or surpassed rates of inflation for many periods in the past. Owning assets is what will protect you from inflation. To beat inflation, don't leave your cash under your mattress or in any place where it's stagnant. It has to keep earning. In conclusion, inflation will always be here to stay, and it's our job to use it to our advantage. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to join the community and hit that subscribe button.